Welcome to this explainer. Today we're jumping right into a really fascinating and honestly critical issue, the current realities of the Indonesian education system. We're going to look at some hard data, a literal geographical nightmare, and a homegrown digital solution that is completely rewriting the rules of access. Let's get into it. So to set the stage, let's start with a pretty blunt reality check from President Prabowo Subianto. Recently, when he was addressing researchers, he really didn't sugarcoat how the rest of the world views Indonesia's educational standing. He made the point that, sometimes facts just hurt, but we have to accept them as a necessary warning, a baseline for correction, essentially. And what he was specifically referring to here are the PISA scores. And this chart really illustrates exactly what he means. Look at these 2022 PISA reading scores. Indonesia noticeably lagged behind its ASEAN neighbors. With a score of 359, they're sitting in the bottom 10 out of 80 participating countries. I mean, they're trailing pretty far behind Malaysia at 388 and Brunei at 429. It's a really stark visual of the gap we're talking about. And unfortunately, we see that exact same gap in mathematics. Scoring at 388, Indonesia is stuck in the bottom 12 globally, while countries like Thailand and Malaysia are pushing ahead. Since this data is rigorously gathered by the OECD every 3 years from 15-year-olds all over the world, it acts as a super accurate diagnostic tool for the overall health of a nation's education system. Rounding out the metrics, the science scores show a really similar trend. I mean, yes, the score of 383 is slightly better than reading and math, but ranking 15th from the bottom, it just confirms this massive overarching gap. But to figure out why this gap is so stubborn, we literally have to pull out a map. Because, well, take a look at this number, 388,000. Just let that scale sink in for a second. That is roughly the number of schools spread across the entire Indonesian archipelago. Think about the sheer volume of resources, the teachers, the infrastructure you need to manage a network of that magnitude. So, delivering quality education here isn't just about crafting a good curriculum. It's this monumental logistical puzzle. We're talking about schools hidden deep in mountainous regions, schools out on the absolute outermost frontier islands like Miangas, and totally remote districts across North Maluku and North Sulawesi. Just physically distributing textbooks across those distances, it's incredibly difficult. Which brings up a really important point. People often look to neighboring Singapore's sky-high PISA scores as a benchmark. But comparing Singapore's setup to Indonesia's, it is the ultimate apples to oranges comparison. Singapore is one city, about 5 million people. Their education minister could probably inspect every school in a couple hours. Meanwhile, an Indonesian official has to navigate thousands of islands and extreme terrain just to reach a tiny fraction of theirs. But here's the catch, and President Prabowo was very clear about this in his address. This massive geographic hurdle, it can't be used as an excuse. Outsiders might just look at a low score and completely miss the physical realities of managing such a vast nation. But for Indonesia, it just means they have to find a totally different, highly scalable way to chase progress. Part 1, Digital Solution Kipin Platform, bridging the gap without relying on internet infrastructure. So, when physical logistics fail, digital solutions have to step up, right? And to tackle this, we're looking at the Kipin platform. This isn't just some basic app developed overnight. It's the result of over a decade of continuous research. It's a comprehensive, all-in-one digital education ecosystem engineered specifically to bypass Indonesia's connectivity limits. Through this system, a super remote school suddenly gets instant access to a massive digital library. We are talking over 5,000 official textbooks from the Ministry of Education, thousands of learning videos, and literally over 50,000 practice questions. It even has literacy comics for the younger kids. It completely wipes out that agonizing wait for physical books to arrive by boat or truck. It basically flips the script on the traditional classroom. Think about it. A traditional school relies heavily on that fragile physical supply chain. But a digitalized Kipin classroom? It makes thousands of resources available instantly on pretty much any device you've got. Android, iOS, Windows 10, you name it. Part 2. Internet-free learning access. Overcoming the ultimate connectivity hurdle in the 3T regions. Okay, but here is the absolute elephant in the room. How on earth do you digitize a frontier school, what they call the 3T regions in Indonesia, that has zero internet signal? If you can't reach the cloud, how do the kids get the data? Well, enter the Kipin classroom. It's this brilliant little smart IoT device. It acts as its own local server and access point. It houses the learning content and the assessment software right inside the box, bringing the entire internet learning experience completely offline. Let me walk you through just how simple this download and go process is for a remote student. Step 1. The student connects their phone or tablet to the local kipin.id spot, which is basically an internal Wi-Fi network broadcast straight from the device itself. Step 2. They download their books and videos from that local server in seconds, using absolutely zero external internet bandwidth. And Step 3. They take their device home and study that content anywhere, anytime. And the coolest part is that the hardware scales to whatever the school needs. You've got the Kipin Max, which is a larger offline server for a whole school, or the Kipin ATM. That one is literally a physical kiosk that looks like a bank ATM where students just walk up and grab free digital content. The data is stored locally and distributed freely. No internet data required at all. But it's not just a digital bookshelf, right? This offline network brings some seriously advanced features to the frontier. There's Kipin PDO, which lets teachers run standardized digital exams, fully supporting national AKM standards. Teachers can even use an upload and share feature to add their own custom lesson plans. Oh, and it supports interactive digital learning with annotation tools, making it a perfect match for modern interactive flat panels in early childhood education. Part 3. The Future of Indonesian Education. Success Stories from the Frontier. Now, this isn't just some pie-in-the-sky theory. It is happening on the ground right now. In incredibly hard-to-reach places like Nias Barat, elementary teachers are successfully running daily digital distance learning with practically zero cellular signal. And over in Manokwari, Papua, teachers are seamlessly running those digital AKM national assessments using Chromebooks provided by the ministry, all powered by these local, offline servers. They are literally defying the geographic odds. And you can hear the impact from the educators themselves. As Herianto Pakpahan noted, having the ability to just download and learn endlessly without constantly stressing over an internet connection is an absolute game changer. It is finally leveling the playing field for these remote communities. So, as we wrap up this explainer, I want to leave you with this thought. For decades, the sheer size and geography of Indonesia was this massive, immovable barrier to educational equality. But now that this internet-free digital solution is actually proven on the ground, how fast can a united push elevate those PISA scores? How quickly can we empower those 388,000 schools and truly transform Indonesia's educational future on the world stage? Thanks so much for joining me on this deep dive, and keep exploring.